Well, the recent rockfall at a disused mine shaft near Langlaagte in Johannesburg, which injured a group of zamas and killed some of their colleagues, has led Cosatu to call for government to decriminalise what is often described as illegal mining. However, this will require a mind shift of all parties involved. That's government, mining companies, trade unions and the zamas themselves. Joining us in studio to discuss how this problem can be addressed is the Finweek editor, Johannesburg. A very good afternoon to you, Jana. Well, looking at this problem of zamas, how big is it?
That's one of the big problems, is that we don't actually know how big it is. One estimate we have from the Department of Mineral Resources is that revenues generated is around 6 billion rand a year. That's a 2014 estimate. So it's not insubstantial. In terms of the number of people involved, there's an international estimate that it's between 5,000 and 50,000.
Sure.
So I mean, it's quite a wide range. So I think the reality is that we don't actually know how big the problem is, and that's one of the issues. I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is that the Chamber of Mines estimate that about 70% of people who are involved in illegal mining in South Africa are illegal immigrants, which means these are really vulnerable people who are open to exploitation by these criminal networks that sit at the top of these
trying to put
networks.
food on the table. But we also got Cosatu weighing in on this, saying that really proposing that it be decriminalised. What are they asking for here?
Yeah, they're basically saying, let's regulate these guys, let's give them permits to operate legally. That way you can ensure that there's an improvement in terms of safety, that there's certain rules that they need to comply with. I think one of the statistics is that you're 70 times more likely to die as an illegal miner in a rockfall than you would in a legal, regulated environment. So safety is clearly a big issue. It's also, they use mercury a lot in terms of getting ore out of the rock, and that's got huge health and safety implications for people who actually work with mercury. And I think the other big challenge is just around, because it's criminalized and it's run by these criminal networks, there's a huge safety issue. We often hear these stories about different groups of zamas fighting for control over specific areas, and these things spill over into the communities. So you see murders happening and actual violence around that as well. So that's Cosatu saying, let's get a handle on that.
What would it require maybe to establish this small-scale mining industry in the country, or is it even possible?
I think it's certainly going to be challenging, but I do think it's worth looking into, and there are other countries where there's examples of artisanal mining industries. One country with a big artisanal mining industry is, for example, the DRC, and the proposal is that you look at putting these zamas organizing themselves around a cooperative. They get a permit, they have to comply with certain legislation. You get the mining industry involved as well, so there's some training around safety issues. There's money being given to make sure that these guys have access to the resources they need in order to operate legally. I think the other distinction we need to make is between illegal miners or zamas operating, for example, near Langlaagte in a disused mine shaft, which is a very different story from people illegally mining in operational mines, which we often see, for example, around Carletonville area, where people actually go down, for example, a Sabania mine shaft, they stay underground, they're helped by the miners who actually go into work legally, and that of course should remain banned and illegal. But I do think, with so many people depending on illegal mining as a livelihood, there should be a way to make it more safe and regulated.
Yes, it definitely is life-threatening. We'll have to leave it there, Jana. That was Finweek editor Jana Marais. We're taking a short break, and now when we come back, we'll have a conversation around the corporate governance of parastatals. Don't go away.